Well, I feel like I should apologise for bringing you this next story because it's likely to make you angry. That's exactly what it's done to me. Our next guest is a Victorian breastfeeding expert who is being hauled before the Queensland Civil and Administrative Tribunal for daring to say that only women can breastfeed. I'm not telling you a lie. The complaint came from a man who identifies as a woman and goes by the name of Jennifer Buckley. This trans mother, biological man, took hormones in order to grow breasts and induce lactation to help his wife breastfeed their baby. Now, Jasmine Sussex joins us here now to tell us more. Jasmine, thank you very much for your time. You refuse to be silenced. Tell us about the fight that you are having on this issue.
Thanks, Chris. Yeah, it's really quite bizarre and not what I expected to be spending my time working on, I have to tell you. I'm just a mum of 3 from the suburbs who spent a lot of time helping other mums to breastfeed. And unfortunately, there is a small group in the community who are quite obsessed with this idea that they're breastfeeding mothers. And one of these individuals has spent the best part of the last couple of years making complaints about me to anyone who'll listen, really. So the Breastfeeding Association was where he started, and then the E-Safety Commissioner, and then last year the Queensland Human Rights Commission. So we've been through a process of conciliation. And unfortunately, that wasn't successful. So he's now decided to haul me before the Queensland Civil and Administrative Appeals Tribunal to, talk further about his feelings that he was able to breastfeed his baby nearly 5 years ago.
Tell me about how you argue with him or his lawyers in these conciliation hearings. How do you argue with him that he is absolutely deceived by himself?
Yeah, well, I've really tried to stay away from him. So I've never conversed with him directly on social media or, anywhere else until we got to the Queensland Human Rights Commission. So, I've blocked him on, at least 10 individual identities that he's created online. So I just say that, I don't make the rules. This is Mother Nature's plan, and men, unfortunately, no matter how much they wish they were mothers, they just don't have the anatomy or the physiology that allows them to be able to breastfeed. And unfortunately, endocrinologists that, really lie to these men that they can take hormones, grow breasts, and then take other strong drugs to try and make some kind of substance. I think they're really taking advantage of these individuals, and really they should spend time helping them to come to terms with biological reality.
This pharmaceutically inducing lactation, this pharmaceutical attempt to induce lactation for men, is it safe? What research has gone into this?
Yeah, well, all the research has been into female bodies. So lactation only really works in female bodies. And quite a lot of Australian women do take this medication to help them increase their supply if they've had a difficult time getting, breastfeeding off to a good start. Mm-hmm. But way back in, the 80s when this was first introduced, the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration in the States, said that it wasn't safe, and the data was particularly that it wasn't safe in men, middle-aged men. So, what might be safe for childbearing age women isn't safe for, middle-aged men who might wish they were women. So there's a range of a range of evidence about why it might not be safe, including cardiac events, which obviously middle-aged men are more at risk of those adverse cardiac outcomes than women.
So you are on the side of fact, science and medicine. You have accused what he is getting satisfaction from as a fetish, and it is about deriving pleasure. Let's not beat around the bush. That's why you called it a fetish, right?
Well, actually, I didn't say that this individual had a fetish, and he knows that. But when he spoke to the Saturday Herald Sun, he gave them a tweet that I had described the practice as a dangerous fetish.
So you've been verbal.
Yeah. I have, yeah. So unfortunately, this individual is has really been working online for years to try and normalise trans women breastfeeding, and because he feels that it's a human right for these individuals who he says are mothers to breastfeed. And he's friendly with a couple of these other individuals around the world, so one in America and one in the UK. And those two individuals are on the record as I don't think I can really say on a family show, but that they've said some quite disturbing things, and one of them makes online pornography related to an animal fetish around milk making.
Right.
So it was that individual.
We get the idea. We get the idea, which is why all of this is so terribly twisted, and this rubbish that he goes on about. He's become an ultimate narc and someone who's tracking you down at every opportunity. He's doing it to help his wife, he says. But wouldn't this actually be detrimental for the child by complicating the feeding process? Surely.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, everybody knows that the early days of breastfeeding, it's really important that the mother and the baby are left in not interrupted. They're left together to get the hang of breastfeeding and, grow in their loving relationship together. So whether it's introducing formula or, a competing kind of milk source or, another mother, a trans mother into that mix, certainly it's going to disrupt the establishment of a healthy breastfeeding relationship. And the irony of all of this is, this man admits that it only went for 5 days.
Right.
So, he knows himself that men can't breastfeed, and he's just angry, I guess, with me.
He's trying to make the point, and he's doing it in an overly aggressive way. So here is he dragging you before the tribunal in Queensland. And do you have to turn up? I guess you do you?
Well, a few people have asked me this question. I think I should do what my lawyers say, that it would be best to go and have a calm conversation about this, with the member in person. Because, ultimately we need to be able to tell the truth, and particularly when, the health and well-being of mothers and babies are at stake. And I do think it's a harmful practice and, really it needs to stop. So I will go and talk about it.
All right. Well, you're on the side of truth. He is on the side of lunacy. Hopefully you can, tell the truth and make it sink in. But I have a feeling he's going to chase you for as long as you keep telling the truth.
Yeah, he does seem to want to get some kind of affirmation out of this legal process. And, unfortunately, that's not what these anti-discrimination laws are for. And, vilification certainly isn't to be used to try and coerce other people into sharing your views on a highly controversial topic.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. He is misusing the process, is what you're saying. You're absolutely right. I would have thought 99.999% repeating people in this country are on your side.